Wake up, not just from sleep, but from the fog of distraction that clouds your mind, chains your potential, and whispers lies of tomorrow. The world is still dark. The streets are empty. The air is sharp, almost sacred, and in this silence, warriors are forged. This is the hour where your life no longer waits for permission, where your destiny begins to bend toward your discipline. Every sunrise begins as a battlefield of thought. Fear, laziness, regret, doubt, they are shadows lurking in the corners of your mind, whispering, rest, later, tomorrow. But here is the truth. The sages knew. The man who rises while the world sleeps builds power that cannot be stolen, energy that cannot be bought, and a life that cannot be outsourced. Marcus Aurelius wrote of the mind as a fortress. Epictetus reminded us that every moment is a chance to claim sovereignty over ourselves. At 5 a.m., that sovereignty is yours. You see, the clock does not care about your excuses. Society has trained us to follow the masses, to sleep through the dawn, to be reactive instead of decisive. But the silence of early morning, the stillness of empty streets and untouched hours, is the canvas for your inner mastery. It is here, in this sacred solitude, that clarity rises like the sun itself, burning through indecision and fear, leaving only action and purpose. This is not just waking early. This is claiming your life. This is Stoic discipline made tangible. The 5 a.m. hour does not bend to weakness. It rewards presence, resilience, and courage. It whispers truths to those willing to listen, that time is a gift, that your energy is sacred, that your choices define your destiny. Take a moment before we start. Tell us where you're listening from and one virtue you're striving to strengthen today: wisdom, patience, discipline, or courage. And while you do that, hit like and subscribe so this wisdom finds its way back to you every time the world tries to steal your morning. Principle number 1. Claim the hour before dawn. The alarm is not a sound, it is a summons. A call from the universe reminding you that while the world sleeps, greatness stirs in the quiet. At 5 a.m. the world is still, but your mind can ignite. This is the hour where discipline is born, not in comfort, not in convenience, but in the friction between your desire to stay wrapped in warmth and your commitment to rise. Most men sleep through opportunity. They press snooze on their destiny. They trade hours of life for illusions of rest. But the Stoic warrior knows that true strength is forged in the crucible of discomfort. Rising before the sun is not merely a habit, it is a declaration. I own my time, I own my mind, I own my destiny. Imagine the world outside, dim streets, quiet houses, frost clinging to windows, and inside your mind is a forge. Each minute you resist temptation to remain in bed. Each second you choose action over ease is a hammer striking against the anvil of your character. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The first act of discipline is to rise before the world does, to enter the silence and make it your own. But how do you claim this hour with consistency? Begin with ritual. Prepare the night before. Water by your bedside. Journal open. Intention set. Sleep is sacred, but so is purpose. Place your alarm across the room so your body must move to answer the call. Let your first breath of the day be deliberate, long, deep, anchored in awareness. The early hour is your battlefield, and presence is your weapon. Once awake, seize the stillness. Use it to journal your thoughts, to plan your day without distraction, to meditate on the virtues you wish to embody. The world's chaos has not yet seeped into this space. Your mind is a temple, your intentions are seeds. Plant discipline here, and it will grow into unshakable resilience, unwavering focus, and clarity that endures even when the day becomes stormed with demands. Do not underestimate the subtle power of this hour. Discipline is not about grand gestures, but about repeated acts of sovereignty over yourself. The first hour you own becomes the template for the rest of your life. When your mind learns to say yes to what matters before the world wakes, it will learn to say no to distraction, doubt, and mediocrity all day long. Practice this. Rise at 5 a.m. for 30 days without compromise. Begin with stillness. Stretch, breathe, write, reflect. Observe your mind as clouds drift across the sky. When negative thoughts appear, acknowledge them without surrendering. Let gratitude, not panic, define the hour. Affirm, I rise with purpose. I own this day. I am the architect of my life. Speak it aloud. Feel it. Anchor your discipline in repetition and presence. The first principle of 5 a.m. discipline is simple yet profound. Claim the hour before dawn. Do not negotiate with laziness. Do not rationalize delay. The warrior rises. The creator awakens. And in this sacred silence you begin each day as a master, not a servant, of your mind and your fate. Let the world sleep. Let it dream. You will act. You will grow. You will conquer the subtle tyranny of your own hesitation and inertia. And when the sun rises, it will not illuminate the day. It will reflect the fire already burning inside you. Affirmation to anchor in comments. I rise before the world and claim my power. My discipline defines my destiny. Principle number 2. Master your mind before the day begins. Before the sun lights the horizon, your mind is a battlefield. Thoughts surge like restless waves. Anxieties about the past, worries about the future, doubts whispering that you are not enough. Most of the world surrenders to this storm, allowing their minds to dictate their actions. But the Stoic warrior knows that mastery begins not with circumstance, but with the mind itself. 5 a.m. is the sacred hour to reclaim this dominion. Rising early is meaningless without mental sovereignty. To wake at 5 a.m. and drift through your thoughts is like lighting a fire but leaving it untended, its warmth wasted, its potential unrealized. Discipline is cultivated in the awareness that your mind is a tool, not a tyrant. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. At dawn, when the world is quiet, you have the perfect environment to practice this power. Start by observing. Sit in stillness. Feel the body. Notice the breath. Thoughts will come. Memories of failure, fears of the future, desires yet unsatisfied. Recognize them as passing clouds, not commands. Let them float by without attachment. This is the first act of mastery. Detachment from the internal noise that so often hijacks the day. You are not your thoughts. They are messengers, not rulers. Next, practice intentional focus. Choose one purpose for the hour. Journaling, meditation, planning, or physical movement. Let this task consume your attention fully. The early hour magnifies clarity. Distraction has not yet arrived. Social media has not yet demanded your attention. Obligations have not yet pressed. Your mind can sharpen, stretch, and train like a sword in the forge. Each deliberate act of focus strengthens mental resilience, patience, and clarity. Then, reframe your inner dialogue. Replace self-doubt with commitment. Replace complaint with action. Ask, what can I create? What virtue can I embody? How can I act with courage today? Let these questions guide your thoughts. They are the rudder that directs your inner energy toward discipline rather than chaos. This practice is the heartbeat of Stoic morning mastery, taking control of your internal environment before the external world demands your submission. Integrate movement as a discipline of the body and mind together. Stretch, perform push-ups, or walk in silence. Physical exertion at 5 a.m. is a declaration. Your body serves your mind. The act of moving while others remain dormant trains both resolve and energy management. Your nervous system aligns with your intent. Your muscles learn that effort is habit, not burden. Discipline spreads through every fiber of your being when morning movement meets mindful attention. Finally, anchor this principle with reflection. Write your intentions, affirm your values, and review your purpose. Gratitude, too, is essential. Acknowledge the silence, the stillness, the gift of this uninterrupted hour. The mind that rises early and masters its own currents gains a reserve of calm strength, unmatched by those who wait for life to shape them. Affirmation to anchor in comments. I am the master of my mind. I rise above distraction and claim my clarity. My discipline defines my day. The second principle of 5 a.m. discipline is therefore clear. Before the world awakens, train the mind, anchor the spirit, and direct your focus. If you can conquer the internal storm before the sun rises, no external chaos will unseat your power. Each dawn becomes a rehearsal for mastery, a repeated lesson in sovereignty, and a step toward a destiny shaped by intention, not inertia. Principle number 3. Battle laziness with ritual. The world seduces you with comfort. The bed is warm, blankets heavy. The mind whispers, just 5 more minutes, tomorrow will do. These are the chains of mediocrity. Laziness is not a moment. It is a choice repeated daily, quietly eroding your power and your purpose. Rising at 5 a.m. is not enough, unless it is anchored in ritual. Discipline is not a spark. It is a fire stoked by repetition, by habit, by deliberate structure. Ritual transforms resistance into strength. It turns the friction of choice into an automatic conduit of action. When the alarm sounds, your body moves, not because you feel like it, but because your mind is trained to obey the higher command. Act, create, rise. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Ritual is the path to mastery. The warrior does not negotiate with inertia. He structures his life so that the morning becomes sacred, predictable, and invincible. Start with preparation the night before. Lay out clothes for movement. Prepare water or tea. Open your journal and set a clear intention. These small acts remove friction, so the first step out of bed does not require negotiation with your weaker self. When the body moves seamlessly into action, the mind follows. This is the quiet victory over laziness, structuring life so the default is discipline, not delay. Next, create a sequence for the morning that becomes unbreakable. Begin with stillness, breath exercises, meditation, or silent reflection. Then move into journaling or planning, clarifying priorities, mapping purpose, and articulating the virtues you wish to embody that day. Add movement, stretching, walking, push-ups, or bodyweight exercises. Each act is a deliberate arrow, pointing toward mastery, each repetition a seed growing into resilience. Ritual also trains your attention. When distraction comes, and it will, you have a reference point, a known path back to focus. Your ritual becomes a fortress. The alarm is not just a sound, it is a signal that the mind enters its sacred territory. Your journal, your breath, your movement are walls that separate you from chaos. By repeating the ritual daily, you create momentum, and momentum is the energy that turns discipline from effort into identity. The early hour magnifies this effect. Before emails, notifications, and obligations crowd your mind, ritual grounds you. It teaches your nervous system that action is natural, resistance is temporary, and purpose is non-negotiable. Laziness loses its power because it no longer meets a willing participant. Your body and mind are aligned in deliberate action. Anchor this principle in practice. Commit to a morning ritual for 30 days without compromise. Record your intentions, practice your breathing, move your body, and journal reflections. Let gratitude saturate the silence. Each day you repeat the ritual, you forge discipline into the sinews of your being, making it permanent, unshakable, and unstoppable. Affirmation to anchor in comments. I rise with ritual. I act without hesitation. Laziness has no power over me. The third principle of 5 a.m. discipline is clear. Structure your mornings through unbreakable ritual, transforming resistance into automatic action and habit into identity. Laziness is no longer a shadow, it is a defeated adversary. Each dawn you win again. Each repetition strengthens the mind, body, and spirit. Discipline is no longer an act, it is who you are. Principle number 4. Embrace silence to fuel clarity. The world is noisy. Phones vibrate, emails ping, voices clamor, and obligations crash upon you like relentless waves. Most of life is spent reacting, responding, and surviving the chaos. But discipline, the kind that shapes destiny, thrives in the opposite environment. It grows in stillness. It is nurtured in silence. The early morning at 5 a.m. offers this rare sanctuary. Here, before the sun pierces the sky, silence is your weapon, and clarity is your reward. Silence is not empty. It is alive. It is a mirror reflecting your inner state. It reveals the tangle of thought patterns, the hidden fears, the desires you have not acknowledged. Many fear silence because it exposes them to themselves. Laziness, worry, regret, all emerge in this quiet, but the Stoic warrior does not flee from this confrontation. He leans into it, he listens, he understands. Silence becomes a practice of sovereignty over mind and emotion. Begin by sitting alone in the dark or near a window where the first light barely touches the world. Close your eyes, focus on the breath, inhale deliberately, exhale fully. Let every thought rise like clouds and drift away without judgment. The key is presence, noticing thoughts without attachment. Negative emotions are signals, not commands. Anxiety is a messenger, not a master. The storm of your mind does not dictate your action, your discipline does. Next, use silence to plan and prioritize. Write down your intentions for the day while the world sleeps. The mind is uncluttered, energy unspent, creativity untapped. This clarity is a superpower. Decisions made in this sacred quiet are sharper, free from the influence of reactive impulses, social pressure, or the noise of external events. You are the author of your morning and therefore the architect of your day. Movement can also merge with silence. Walk slowly, stretch or perform light exercises without music, without distraction. Feel the body, sense the nervous system, allow the breath to guide the motion. This is not mere exercise, it is a ritual of attunement, a way to synchronize mind and body, energy and purpose. The stillness of 5 a.m. is amplified by this conscious action, and discipline is strengthened with every controlled motion. Embrace this principle daily. The warrior does not abandon silence for convenience. Each morning spent in focused quiet builds a reservoir of inner calm that survives even the most chaotic days. External demands will come. People will try to steal your attention, your energy, your peace. But the practice of morning silence teaches the mind to return to clarity at will, to detach from distraction, and to act from intention rather than reaction. Anchor this principle with gratitude. Reflect on the silence itself, the rare gift of uninterrupted hours, the stillness that allows your thoughts to settle like sediment in water, the space where insight emerges. Affirm, I embrace silence, I cultivate clarity. My mind is a calm lake in the storm of life. Speak it aloud. Let it resonate through your being. The fourth principle of 5 a.m. discipline is simple yet profound. Embrace silence to fuel clarity. In a world of noise, your early morning stillness becomes your edge, your discipline, and your sanctuary. The mind trained in silence is unshakable. Decisions become sharper. Energy becomes more potent. Life is no longer lived by reaction, but by conscious, deliberate creation. Principle number 5. Turn action into habit, habit into destiny. Discipline is not a single act. It is not the effort of one morning or one burst of willpower. True discipline is compounded action, small choices repeated, reinforced and anchored into identity. Rising at 5 a.m. is not enough unless it becomes habitual. The Stoic warrior knows the battlefield is not outside, it is inside, and consistency is the sword that carves destiny from the chaos of life. When you rise early for the first time, your body rebels. Comfort screams louder than purpose. Resistance appears as excuses, as laziness, as the rationalization that today is an exception. This is normal. The mind hates change, but the one who turns action into habit pushes past the first discomfort, knowing that repetition is the forge of freedom. Epictetus wrote, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Repetition is the bridge between intention and identity. Begin with deliberate action. The alarm rings, you move, you breathe, you journal, you exercise. Every step, every breath, every movement is not just an act, it is a commitment. But the power is unlocked when you repeat this sequence without negotiation, without exception. 30 mornings become 60, 60 become 90. In time, the body and mind no longer debate the choice. The act of discipline becomes automatic. The warrior rises at 5 a.m. because it is no longer a decision, it is who he is. Ritual, silence, focus, all the principles we have discussed culminate here. Action becomes a rhythm, habit becomes identity. The external world may attempt to distract, delay or derail, but the habit is unshakable because it is wired into the mind, body and spirit. You have claimed the internal territory before the day begins. Every other choice flows from this mastery. Anchor this principle with awareness. Notice the power of consistency. When challenges arise, reflect on the mornings you showed up despite discomfort, doubt or fatigue. Let them remind you that discipline is earned through repetition, not motivation. Motivation is fleeting, habit endures. You are building an internal infrastructure that no external circumstance can dismantle. The early hour becomes your proving ground, the laboratory where resilience, patience, courage and focus are strengthened daily. Integrate reflection and adaptation. Each morning review your actions, what worked, what could improve. This is not judgment, it is strategy. Discipline is intelligent, not blind. It adjusts without compromising its core. You refine your habit, sharpen your skill, and deepen your mastery, ensuring that action flows naturally into habit, and habit solidifies destiny. Anchor the principle with affirmation. I act with purpose. My actions become habits. My habits shape my destiny. Speak it, feel it. Let it resonate in every fiber of your being. Let it remind you that every 5 a.m. you rise is a small victory over mediocrity, a declaration of sovereignty over time and energy, a sacred step toward mastery of life. The fifth principle of 5 a.m. discipline is therefore decisive. Turn action into habit, and habit into destiny. Each morning you rise early. You reinforce a life of deliberate creation, focus and power. You are no longer governed by convenience, distraction or fleeting desire. You are a stoic warrior and a spiritual creator. The practice of discipline becomes permanent. Your destiny is not left to chance. It is forged daily in silence, in ritual, in mastery, in consistency. Let this be your final affirmation for the morning. The day begins with action. The day flows through habit, and the day ends as a reflection of your disciplined power. The sun has risen, yet the day has already begun in your mind, body and spirit. You have claimed hours that most will waste. You have risen before comfort, before distraction, before doubt. You have mastered silence, anchored ritual, disciplined thought, and forged action into habit. This is the power of 5 a.m. This is Stoic discipline in motion. This is the quiet authority of the one who governs himself, rather than being governed by the world. Remember this, discipline is not punishment, it is liberation. It is the realization that your life is yours to shape, that your destiny bends toward effort, persistence and courage. Laziness may tempt you, chaos may confront you, and comfort may seduce you, but you have already chosen differently. You have chosen sovereignty, you have chosen mastery, you have chosen presence. Each morning you rise early, each day you act with intention. You teach your mind, your body and your spirit, who commands, and it is you. Take a moment and reflect on what this practice has awakened within you. The small victories of early mornings accumulate into monumental strength. The mind that learns to command itself before sunrise becomes unshakable in the storms of life. The body that moves with purpose carries energy that radiates into every corner of your day, and the spirit that rises with discipline becomes aligned with the flow of life, untethered from fear, doubt and hesitation. This is the essence of Stoic spiritual power. You are the author of your own story. Your mornings are your battlefield, your laboratory and your sanctuary. The choices you make now, rising early, embracing silence, structuring your ritual, mastering your mind, transforming action into habit, are the decisions that define your life. They are the invisible architecture of destiny. So rise tomorrow as you have risen today. Reclaim the hour before dawn. Let discipline guide your steps, clarity govern your thoughts, and consistency sculpt your character. And as you do, remember, you are a Stoic warrior, a spiritual creator, a master of your mind, energy and life. If this video ignited a spark within you, hit like, comment which principle resonates most, and subscribe so this power returns to you every time the world tries to steal your morning. Affirm aloud, I own my mornings, I own my mind, I own my destiny. Carry this mantra with you into the day. Let it ripple through your actions, and let it remind you, nothing external can command you unless you allow it. And now, go forward in calm authority. Walk your path with courage. Act with unwavering focus. Live with disciplined presence. The dawn is yours. The day is yours. Your destiny is yours.